Advanced Math ABCs for you and me. A is for asymptote that runs up and down. A zero on the bottom makes calculus students frown. B is for blocking, for when the differences matter. Age, gender, weight, or even how much you chatter. C is for concavity, which way is your graph opening? If f double prime is negative, your curve is facing down, but positive means up is the way you're curving. D is for the derivative, also known as a slope, which is f of x, which you can use as a jump rope. E is for extrema, such as a local minimum or maximum. Find your critical points and their respective values, and you'll have yourself some. F is for 5-number summary, minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. A quarter of data between each, they help you perform a statistical stratagem. G is for a geometric series that increases by a factor r each term. They can come to an end or keep going, just like a worm. H is for hypothesis testing. Define your hypothesis, run the appropriate test, and figure out if you're rejecting. I is for independent, separate, not connected. Sample size multiplied by 10 should be less than the population size. When checking independence, use this method. J is for jump discontinuity. This kind of discontinuity happens when the values approached by the left and right do not have unity.
K is for Kaku, our god king, has descended upon the world to enlighten us all. Without him, we would not be so learned, and would surely fall victim to our animalistic urges.
L is for limit. The left and right come together to form a single point on which resides a cricket. M is for mean. Your data is averaged. It can be a good center, but it tells nothing of the coverage. N is for normal curve, that ever important graph. The area underneath is always equal to 1, which is always good for a laugh. O is for outlier, so far from the rest. When it comes to shifting the mean, it's the best. P is for population, made up of everyone. That includes you, me, and my son. Q is for the quotient rule, used when something divides. Just remember, always keep your hose on the outside. R is for Riemann sum, that gross estimation. Using the data given, we try to approximate the integral, an act which can be our salvation. S is for sample, that useful tool for approximation. Get a good sample and you can tell a lot about the population. T is for t-score, the distribution when dealing with means. They're doable by hand, but easier with machines. U is for u substitution, in which you replace dx and x with du and u. Make sure you change the range too. V is for volume, which is the sum of the cross-sections. Use an integral to get your selection. W is for washer method, which is used for volumes that have holes in the middle. Almost as easy as playing the fiddle. X is for x-axis, that unmutable line that we all know. It's the base of every graph from which every line flows. Y is for y equals mx plus b, the equation that models linearity. Z is for the z-score, the distribution when dealing with proportions. Make sure to check the conditions, else you might suffer some distortions.